Hi, my loves. Welcome back to the Starscartel channel. If you don't know, I'm Star. The message I heard, I did hear it, but I was driving from rainy, like it was pouring down. Pouring down, y'all. Like it was like thunderstorm pouring down. And then I'm steady going, and eventually it goes from pouring down rain, sprinkling sun. Okay. And God is saying that for whoever this is for, you're going to go from cloudy, storm, trials and tribulation, bad, you know what I'm saying, bad vibes, basically, into the sun. The scripture comes from Joshua 14:3. For Moses had given the inheritance of 2 tribes and an half a tribe on the other side of the Jordan, but unto the Levites he gave none inheritance among them. Okay, so for those that don't know, the Levites were given the inheritance of priesthood, and because they have the inheritance of priesthood, they are closer to God than everyone else. But anywho, I feel like God is saying for whoever this is for, don't try. Yes, you are coming out from the thunderstorm and the rain into the sun. However, don't try to compare you coming out of a storm in, where it's raining and thundering and all that into the sun to somebody else coming out of a thunderstorm and into the sun. It's not going to be the same. There may be similarities. There may be things that y'all had in common. There may be situations, circumstances that you can relate to. But God said, do not put yourself in a position to where you're trying to force it, because it's not always going to be the same. And that's just like where you're going. It's not always going to be the same as where somebody else is going. Your happily ever after may be having a tiny house on a big plot of land in the middle of nowhere, whereas someone else's happily ever after may be owning the penthouse downtown New York. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't compare and contrast the road, the journey someone would need to go down in order to end up in the penthouse to the journeys that somebody needs to go down in order to buy land in the middle of nowhere and have a little itty bitty house sitting on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be different stuff. And I just feel like God is saying, regardless to what road you are going down right now, the message is, this is you going from being in the thunder, being in the rain, to being in the sun. Okay? And I'm here telling y'all that right now while simultaneously, I don't know how in the world I'm finna pay my phone bill. I swear I thought that I had it scheduled for my payday, and today is not payday. And I don't know why I scheduled it for today, knowing good and well I don't get paid on Saturday. But anywho, it's all right. It's all right. I will try to, you know what I'm saying, pre-record some videos and not even stress myself about it. But anywho, with that being said, I feel like, you know, even when it comes down to the conditions that you may be in, you have to think about it that the way that you think is what your reality is going to be. So if even when it comes to something like that, I could sit up here and be stressed out about the phone bill and be crying about it and what am I going to do, and oh no, and I can't, and this is going to happen and that is going to happen. Or I could just be like, you know what, it is what it is. I'm going to have to eat that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. I was like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to have to eat that. I'm going to have to figure it out. Plan B, plan C. But I'm not about to allow something like that to stress me out, get me wigging out, have me in a mode. I don't want to do that. Anyways, that's the message. God said for some of y'all, even when problems arise, even when it goes to the example, when you think about the penthouse, you got to go through all the documentation, possibly got to get you a realtor, definitely a lawyer, possibly, depending on if you're buying or you're renting. Do you know if you want to buy or rent? Like, you know, some people, they rent forever and they're happy with that. And then there are some people that they have to have a house. I remember reading about Chanel. That lady, she had a house in her shop, but she didn't even stay there. She stayed at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel across from her shop in her elderly years. It wasn't even a situation where she was really stressing about having a house like that. And there's some people that are like that. And then there's some people where, you know what I'm saying, they got to have this, they got to have that, they got to have, and it ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like God is saying it's a state of mind. It doesn't have to be a situation where you are, how do I say, forcing it. Or it's like a situation where you're trying to force something to work, or you're trying to force it to fit, or it has to look like this, like it has to be a certain color house, and it has to be a certain layout, and it has to this. And you know, if that's what you want, maybe you should take out the time to build your own house, or, you know, get it custom made. But I just feel like when it comes down to it, when you're going down the journey that you have created, the journey that God has created for you, with the little intricate details that you have created for yourself, you have to understand that the trials that you're going to have to go through and what other people are going to have to go through are going to be different. And because they're going to be different, you cannot compare yourself to somebody else. You cannot compare you finally, like, I feel like this is for somebody, you just had a win. Like, it was a big win for you. And for other people, it may feel like nothing. But for you, it's a win. And, you know, regardless if you can see it or not, it's like God is saying, don't compare your win to somebody else's win, because your win and somebody else's win is not going to be the same. And that's just what it is. That's the message. That's the message, y'all. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Deuces.